Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah. We're
Okay,
like a,
we'll have fun. We're like matching, right?
that's right.
Okay, hold on. Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only Chrissy Metz.
Oh, what an intro. Thanks.
Well, I mean, now you are Poodle Moth. I mean, this is the intro that you deserve.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was I know. Wasn't she cute, that poodle moth? I
Poodle
can't say.
Moth was a cutie, right?
Yeah, she was cute. My niece was obsessed and she didn't even know it was me. So that for me felt like, okay, I did my job.
Did people like in your life that know you, some of your famous friends, family members, like did people start saying that didn't know, like, we know this is you?
Yes. I mean, I even had friends from like high school who were like, I know this is you. Like, I know your voice. I'm like, is it that distinct? I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well,
Not
I mean, in retrospect, you look at the clues, you're like, of course it's Chrissy Metz. We have like a reference to the power of three, the
yeah.
people, and you're like, who knew? How
Yeah.
did you get involved? Like you've done so much in your career up to this point. How did you get involved with Mass Singer?
Well, they asked me a couple seasons and I couldn't do it because of the show. And then I got to judge. I got to be a judge one season, which is super fun because I obviously love music. And I'm that person that like won't look at like the TV or the radio or someone's playlist and just try to guess the voice. So I was like, oh, being a judge on the show is like, I need to do this. And then when I saw like all it went into it, I was like, I don't think I could do this. Like, I don't think that I could actually be in a costume. And they were like, "You sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" I'm like, "I'm sure. I'm sure." And then just the right timing happened, and I was like, "You know what? Maybe I should challenge myself." And I also do want to let people know that I sing, and that was important for me. To not just be Kate Pearson or not just be like the girl who like wishes she became a singer, and also because I am pursuing music and I do write and sing my own music. So it just all felt right at the time. But then I got the suit on and I was like, oh my, what am I gonna do? Like, I think this is gonna be too hard. Like, what did I get myself into? And then I thought, Chrissy, you don't ever start something you don't finish. So get it together, get it together. So that's what I tried to do.
That well, you did a great job. I mean, you were in the competition for quite a while. I mean, are people shocked? Like, I know you've sang at the Grand Ole Opry, and I know you have music you've released in the past. Like, are people shocked? Because I mean, singing was part of Kate Pearson's story, but I mean, we like heard you on the show sing, and you can sing.
Yeah.
But I guess are people shocked that you can actually sing?
Yeah, well, they did affect my voice on the show because they didn't want it to sound too polished or too good, I guess. I guess that's a compliment. And so I felt like I was always sort of combating this idea that like, oh, she's just an actress who wants to sing. And it's like, no, like I just love it so much. And it was my first love. And I want to pursue both of those things. Music is very expensive, like to track and to record and all of that. You can't do that when you're broke. You can't. So it wasn't really a possibility. And now that it is, I can do it in a way that I have control over it and I get to put out what I want. But yeah, I mean, I think people were like, oh, I know there were comments like, oh, I didn't know she could sing that well. Oh, I didn't. Oh, so which is great. That's a great compliment. That's what I would want people to say. I don't want people to say the other. So I'm I'm happy about that. But it's just kind of funny, like you have to go into a costume which is what a nice way to kind of introduce people to that. So
Absolutely. Was singing always part of Kate Pearson's story, or did you go to producers or early on you said, hey
oh,
guys, I can sing?
no, I remember getting, oh gosh, I remember getting that script. And when the dialogue is in italics, it means it's sung. There's a song that you're singing in the actual script. And I was like, wait. And I remember texting Dan and I was like, wait, Dan, wait, Kate's gonna be a singer? And she's like, yeah, we really want her to like sort of follow in her mom's footsteps. And I was like, oh. I'm like, well, who's gonna record that? And he's like, well, if you don't feel comfortable doing it. And I'm like, no, 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 I want to do it. I want to do it. And I just couldn't I couldn't believe that like my dream job became even more dreamy. I was like, oh, yeah, incredible.
What a gift, right?
Yes.
Could
Yes, 1,000 times.
when you read a script like This Is Us, because like we all watched, the premiere, and then at the end there's this big twist, and like can you as an actress tell like, wow, like this is great material? You never know when something's going to hit, but can you
Yeah.
kind of tell like this might be the one that changes things forever?
Yeah. I mean, I remember going to the table read, and it was the first time I met Chris Sullivan, who played Toby. And we didn't test together. Typically, you test to check out chemistry. And I just remember him walking into the conference room, and there were all the executives sitting there, and we all had our little places in our scripts. And Chris came in, and we introduced each other to, everybody. And it was like, oh, now the show is complete. And then when we sat down, and the executives who have read the scripts multiple times saw us all read it and were like in tears. We were like, what's happening here? And I remember we all went to the kitchen to get something to drink, and we are all standing there like, what just happened? And we were like, I don't know, but I think it sounds good. And I think we knew because it was written so beautifully and so special. Um, we had something amazing, but again, you don't know how it's going to be received. So
Totally. Well, The Masked Singer is all about stepping out of your comfort zone, even though you are a singer. Like you said, you're not used to singing in a Poodle Moth costume. I have read interviews and I've seen you in interviews before where I know your story that you really were down to your last, I think it was 82 cents in your bank account,
81.
81 cents. Sorry. See, I like gave you an extra penny.
You did it. You did. And I don't know. 81. Yeah.
81 cents, right? Like, and you were pretty much ready to give up on this whole dream of Hollywood and acting and just kind of pack it in. So, what advice would you give a young Chrissy Metz and who stayed and now look at everything has just kind of
No,
worked out?
emotional. Um, so I also was a talent agent for many years. And so I would see people come in who weren't sure they were going to pay their rent, weren't sure if they still wanted to do this, weren't sure if they could hack it, they could stay in line long enough, who just, I mean, there's so much pressure. And there's not many people who like make over a certain threshold to consider themselves like a working actor. And it's a shame. And it's, if you want to be a doctor, you can go and be a doctor and you get to go and practice. And if you want to, whatever it is that you want to be a librarian, I'm pretty sure you're going to find a place you can work. It's not always the truth, and it's not always the case for actors. And so, um, for me, what I really discovered waiting in line for 12 years and determining like I didn't want fame or fortune. Like I just wanted to see myself on TV, or I wanted to relate to somebody that I like knew, as opposed to like, oh, okay, like yes, I'm entertained by this, but I want to see a chubby little girl going through puberty. I want to, like I want to see a woman who's trying to become a full-fledged woman and going through IVF and trying to conceive, like it's so I mean, it's not lost on me at all, because I think this has really changed just everything for not only network television, but for television. Like we get to see regular average people of all shapes and sizes on television. And I don't think before Kate was really created by Dan, thank goodness, did we see that. And so I just like to, well, for me, I was like, I don't want fame or fortune. I would do this no matter what, whether I would sing or want to tell stories, if I was paid or not. And just to know what the intentions are. Like, what are your intentions and why you want to do anything you want to do, not even acting or singing.